There is no difference between hiring and sales. Both funnels work exactly the same. In this video, I'll be sharing my experience and learnings on building the backbone of any business. People. I'm sure you will have a great understanding on how you can hire A players for your agency too, like I did. So stick around till the end. The other day, I was saying to my friend, finding A+ players for your company is more difficult than finding a partner for your life, that is your wife. But I was wrong.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because
Not really. What I have learned from ads is when you are hiring people for your company, it's exactly the same as sales. Let's look at both of them. When you're in sales, you build a list of potential prospects who can be your future clients using multiple ways and tools, right? Then you reach out to them and start the conversation. You don't ask them to hop on a call directly, but you qualify them first in the form of what we call as a discovery session, where we're basically focusing on if we both are a right fit for each other, so if we can spend time preparing the proposal later on for them. Once qualified, you do multiple sales calls until close. Now, let's take a closer look at how hiring works. Believe me, it took me countless hours to understand and I paid to learn this stuff.
A small price to pay for salvation.
Coming back to the point, in hiring, you need a pool of candidates who might be a fit for your company. By pool, I mean you need a handful of candidates to choose from. Just like we do on lead forms on website, to pre-qualify clients, you ask screening questions from candidates in your form. Let it be LinkedIn, Indeed, or simple Google form. Once screening questions are passed, you then call those candidates for an initial interview. Here, you are qualifying if they are a right fit, just like we did in discovery calls. Once done, you then invite them for a scheduled final interview. In this call, you start from gauging their experience and end at presenting your salary offer. And presenting the salary offer is just like presenting your proposal to the client. We normally do another interview if needed, just like we have multiple sales calls with clients. Biggest companies in the world like Google do up to 7 rounds of interviews before the final hiring decision. And most tech companies do up to 4 rounds. Now, did you see the hiring funnel looks exactly the same, like we are working on closing a client? The sooner you understand, the sooner you will start working on presenting the offer to your candidates the same way you do with the client. Okay, so first step in our hiring is to prepare the job description. Honestly speaking, I will stress a lot of agencies miss this. Especially after ChatGPT came out, there are same type of job descriptions everywhere. Doesn't matter where you look. They would start the description by, "We are a dynamic company," and it simply puts me off that the job description is written by ChatGPT. This is just like if you write the email using GPT and it sounds robotic, then you reach out to the potential prospects, there are high chances that the prospect will not respond back. I'm not against using ChatGPT to write the description, but really the point is, would you respond to any candidate if they use ChatGPT to write the cover letter? I won't, because if they aren't putting effort into applying for it, they are not going to do the work wholeheartedly.
That's a good point.
So the idea is to seek help from ChatGPT in making the job description better rather than using it as a starting point. Now, I start with writing the company description in my own words, then mention whether the role requires them to be in-house or they can work remotely, the timing of the job or the number of hours, what are the requirements for the role, what responsibility you want that candidate to own, and this one is very important because you want to clearly mention what's non-negotiable for you. I even mentioned if they don't possess XYZ, they shouldn't be applying for the job. Then what results you expect from them over the period of time, benefits or bonuses, and lastly, salary. Yes, a lot of agencies, and not agencies, but if we look at overall percentage of companies, many of them hide the composition and say it depends on experience, but I'm against it. Just like if you're open about the pricing of your service on the website, you get qualified leads. For JD, you should at least mention the range of the salary that you can offer and later on negotiate with the candidate when offering them a job. Now, if you're hiring outside a platform like LinkedIn, then you must mention how they can apply. Either message you on Messenger with their CV or fill out a Google form. I generally add position interview at the start of the job post if the candidate just wants the overview of it and quickly see if they are a right fit. They can do so just by reading those 2 lines and not wasting their time reading till the end of it just to figure it out. Okay, so those were the most common and must-haves in any JD. You can add something or remove based on your requirements. Now, the second step is to build the pool of candidates that is enough of them saying yes to the position we are hiring for. There are various ways to do that, and it depends on whether you are hiring in-house or remote. In either case, 2 platforms that work every single time are LinkedIn and Indeed. For me, I don't have experience working with platforms like Glassdoor, but the whole idea is to look for the ways on how you can increase the number of candidates applying for the job. Here, I prefer to go with pay and play approach. For example, LinkedIn paid job posting works very well compared to free job posting. Same is the case with Indeed. The best part with these platforms are they allow you to ask screening questions and mark employees as not the right fit if they don't meet the criteria. Those screening questions depend on the position you are hiring for, but one common example that fits all of them is years of experience. You can ask how many years of experience they have for a particular role and set your minimum. If I'm hiring for some experience, I go for at least 2 years. And one important thing, I would highly recommend you to watch a couple of videos on YouTube on how you can post the job on LinkedIn and Indeed for any other platform. I didn't do it when I learned about hiring, and it was my major mistake, since candidates were applying for jobs and I didn't know where to find their CVs. Yes, it happens. That's why I'm recommending you to do this after learning from my mistake. Now, depending on the number of people you require for that job, you can keep the job post live. You will keep receiving the resumes from qualified candidates. One suggestion: don't make your decisions based on CVs. Most of the time, people forget to update them as per their recent experience or mistakenly submit the old one. Yes, I know the mantra. If they didn't update the resume, that means they are not serious about their job, right? You don't need to hear those quotes from gurus. See, we added the screening questions so we can vet those candidates first, right? One key question in screening the candidates is asking them to submit unlisted video of themselves that shouldn't be more than 2 minutes. In that video, they must explain why they are a right fit for the job. This alone can increase the quality of your pool by 100x. Thanks, Mads, for this tip. Another way, and I have seen this working very well for some SEO and overall digital marketing agencies, is using Facebook ads to attract the potential candidates. This is one way to increase the pool size. Nothing special, you just go ahead and create the ad like you normally do. Just like Indeed and LinkedIn ask you to select the target location and the job title, same is the case with Facebook ads. You can specify your location and target specific job title. These days, the algorithm is smart enough to show your ads to the right type of people if you have done a good job with the copy and creatives. For applying, we normally embed Google Form on our website to collect the responses. You can either direct them to WhatsApp or however seems feasible. If you still want to add more candidates into the funnel, try Facebook groups. It's not the efficient method, but who knows where you find your next A player for your team. I have been saying this A player thing since the start of the video, and by that I mean this is the type of candidate who can fully own the responsibility for which you are hiring. By responsibility, that strictly doesn't mean a set of tasks. It means if you're hiring for, let's say, local SEO specialist, that means that person should be able to fully manage local SEO campaign rather than you explaining what to do. The third step is to start checking out the CVs or applications submitted along with the videos. If they didn't submit the video, it clearly states they didn't read the job description well, and it's a clear sign of non-seriousness.
Rejected.
Since if you can't find 2 minutes in 2 days to simply shoot a video of yourself, we are not interested in hiring you. We ask for this video submission in all sorts of positions. Doesn't matter it's sales or operations. Basically, this removes the need for the initial interview as well, where you spend 7 to 10 minutes on each candidate. Now, to give them the confidence, we instruct them there is no need for a proper camera and lighting setup. It's just them speaking in front of the camera. That's it. Out of those who submitted the video, call them and ask a couple of questions so you can arrange the final interview with them. If while speaking to them, you feel it's not worth it to schedule the interview, just don't do it. I generally ask my HR to reconfirm the screening questions and see if the response matches, since you call them after 2 to 3 days. Also, while on the call, you can gauge their attitude towards the job and it can tell you everything about them. Depending on the position you are hiring for, we generally ask them for the paid test, such as copywriters. Please don't blame me in comments that I'm still recruiting humans to write the content. This is because it's a requirement from the biggest clients we work with. Other than writers, if you're hiring for, let's say, developers, you can give them a paid test for a quick programming problem where they record the video and submit it to you while solving it. One question that my HR manager asked during the initial call with the candidate is the reference that we can call prior to conducting the final interview.
I have character references, testimonials.
If the candidate mentioned ABC company as their reference, we don't call them. We call another company, let's say XYZ, on their CV, where they worked but didn't mention it when we asked for the reference. This is because the reference they mentioned will likely speak positively about them, but the honest feedback you need will be given by other companies.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Now, to schedule the final interview with them, have your calendar link set up specifically for this one, since you want to confirm your availability and give them a chance to choose the time that matches their availability as well. Again, it's just like scheduling the call with the client. As for the calls itself, we use Zoom since it's integrated with our Calendly. You can use Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, whatever you prefer. But Zoom is very easy to hop in even from the phone. For the interview, you can seek help from ChatGPT on the type of questions to ask. Experience related, technical, problem solving, solving, scenario-based, and their approach to work. Since we do a video call, we constantly look for two things. Number one, their mindset, attitude, and mentality. This also includes the selection of words on how they respond to what we ask, because a high level of skill cannot make up for a negative attitude ever. Number two, reasons not to hire them. Yes, reasons where we can reject the candidate. Most of the time, we are looking for a reason to hire the candidate and ignore the stuff where they lack. But if you keep asking your mind on what could be the reason not to select this candidate, you will approach the interview with a different mindset. In ideal cases, if you can't find the reason to reject, or you have a few reasons that aren't of high intensity and will not impact the work, you're good to go.
Finally.
And you will probably end up hiring the best out of all. One of the most important things when you are doing interviews is you should sell yourself as a company too. The candidates are going to do their best for sure, but you need the best people as well. So if they are a right fit, give them the reason to join your company by explaining the benefits, talking about your company culture, and the type of environment you are going to provide. Thank you so much, Omar, for this tip. Obviously, you will explain this when you like the candidate and want them to join the company while presenting the job offer after the final interview. I will repeat it again. Hiring a good candidate is just like closing a client. Last but not the least, if you are hiring for the same roles, I don't change the questions at all, so we can track the answers later on while finding the common attributes of top performers. For example, recently we figured the best salespeople we found went to a specific school in the region where we were hiring from. Yes, it sounds like a very difficult and lengthy process, but I have done this with really good success and have seen companies like Empire Flippers and Digital Marketing using the same type of approaches. Since all of us have the same management coach, Mets. I once heard Salim during an interview that for any company, the first role you should fill is HR. I didn't understand it at first and thought, why should someone hire HR first? Starter founders can find their talent themselves, right? But that's not the case really. By the time passed, I learned why that is so.
I learned that the hard way.
Alright, if you don't want to do this all yourself and you still want the resource who is directly controlled by you, then it's better to hire a recruitment agency who does all that for you. Since it's very hard to retain the employees after doing all this stuff, so the better route is to hire the agency to handle that work for you. I understand that there are various pros and cons in hiring an agency, but most of the time it's an efficient method to do it. This really helps you quickly scale up or scale down if required. You don't need to add any sort of employee benefits and you get the same quality of work if not better. Speaking in that context, we work with a lot of agencies serving local or e-commerce businesses to manage SEO and link building for their clients. If you're one looking for it, reach out to me using the link in the description. Also, we are always on hunt to find good people. So if you know anyone in sales, are really good SEO, link builders, etc., please refer to them. I will add the form link in the description. That's it for this video. If you love the stuff I shared, please smash the like button so YouTube can share it with the more agency owners like you. If not, well, maybe I need to bribe my coffee machine for better content next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.